Hello, I'm Cammy G, and welcome back to our AFK Endurance builds. We are now in Plankerton, working on Amplifier B, so this is the East Amplifier, just to the east of the home base, and we have two spawns for this, so one at the east and one at the north. So we're going to work on the east first, and then we'll do the north, and yeah, let's go ahead and show the spawns for that then. So the spawns are all around this back area down here. You can get some at this bottom area, some at the top, and over this area like this. So there's a few flanking routes, as with the rest of Plankerton. You know, we've got these sort of ramps here. They can also get to the amplifier up this ramp here, so we're going to block this one off and just make them come up this main route. And then up here, there's some sideways they could go, you know, climb all the way up here. And they could climb up to here, and you know, this would be a good spot for them to fling, so we'll have to block that off. But as I said, the main tunnel is going to be across here, so we'll bring them through here, and as we do that, we can use wall launchers on here to send them flying down into this area, and then they have to walk all the way back up. As I say, we're going to block this ramp to ensure they can't get to the amplifier this way. So I'm just going to add as much blockage as we can for that. You might also want to just block the top of the ramp to really stop them from being able to get up like this, and then we'll just get the grid method, the usual method. I appreciate this is close to the amplifier, but we would be building around it anyway, so don't worry about that. So we block that. Then over here, when we get to this point, we will add a wall launcher here. So behind that, we're going to just need a little bit of reinforcement, like so. And like that. So we'll bring them here. And then from here, we'll just take them forwards towards the amplifier. And then we can put a wall here if we want. Smashers might end up charging this wall. So do be careful with that. But at least if we have that there, we can put a wall launcher on here. An alternative is, if you want, you can get rid of the structure behind that, have the wall there, and then have a ramp behind it, like so, and then have them come to the amplifier like this, which might be more beneficial. Just see what works best for you. As they come through this area, what we can do is this with low walls for a bit of extra damage. Probably don't need that one, actually. As I say, though, you might get smashers trying to charge this point, but we will have tar pit traps on the floor, which will stop them in their tracks anyway. But if you do see pressure from them, obviously you have to change it up to the previous design where we block behind it and just have them go forward here. But we can leave it like this. Now, one other thing you could do here is if you make this a low wall, you can put wall darts at the back. What you can also do here is add a floor behind like that. This will act as an extra layer to stop them from wanting to break through there, get straight to the amplifier. Sadly, you can't do that behind this wall because, you know, they need to walk here. So it's a bit limited in what you could do. But yeah, at this side, we can do the same sort of thing. So have the walls, the wall darts, and then low walls. And then what we'll do is we'll just block this off because we don't want enemies to be wandering around this area, such as flingers, lobbers, that type of thing. And then if you really want, you can have a wall here. But it's not totally necessary because at this point, they should really be dead. So yeah, it's up to you if you want to put that or not. If you did, I'd probably recommend having this one as a full wall to have broadsides on. So that's up to you. Right, so for this up here, we're going to block this fully to really stop the enemies from wanting to come up here. So by that I mean floors at the top and then over the top like this. You can cover the whole thing if you want, it's not super important. What you can do behind these if you want though is, you know, ramps like this with this behind. Probably not necessary to have this wall, but we'll just leave it in anyway. And then on the ones towards the edge of the ramp. You can put cones on top, but it's probably not necessary, to be honest, and you probably don't need the outside ones. You can probably do with just these covering the top of the ramp. Another flank over here, so look, we'll just cover the flanks now, I guess. Might as well. Up there, and then just a block here as well to really stop them from wanting to come up here, because obviously from up here they'd be able to target the amplifier, flingers and lobbers and the such. So we need to make sure we block that, and probably block this one as well, just to be on the safe side. You probably won't need as much on that one though, because it is quite out of the way. And then there is a similar ramp over here. So for this, we will do this. This looks very similar to the ramp we covered for A. Pretty sure they just copy and pasted the design for that. So we'll just cover those to ensure that enemies cannot flank around. So from further testing, these block-offs here, I believe, break from spawns. So what I mean by that is the tendrils that land on the ground. I think a spawn gets really close to it, and the walls broke, and then enemies wanted to come up here. I actually had some flingers, lobbers, like standing here and down there, aiming at it, which is so strange. But the lobbers wanted to come up here, and then once they were here, they would target the ceiling traps and the objective. So all we need to do is just add extra protection behind this by doing this, aiming all these cones towards the corner they would come out of, and then we can just add extra walls behind these as well. And then, interestingly enough, when they did break through, regular enemies would actually just come here and then drop into the trap tunnels instead of just, walking all the way over here to the objective, which is very strange. But what we can do is just add even more here, like so, and probably stop there. You could add walls here if you wanted. I don't think it will add much to the, protection for stopping them wanting to come through. What you can do though is add this and then do that there. Didn't mean to add the top one, but yeah, we can add these walls in as well, just to be on the safe side. But yeah, look, I mean, we've got so much blocking this off now. There should be a full wall there as well, my bad. But yeah, now they won't want to get through. I mean, you can add even more behind this if you really want to, but I think that should be plenty of deterrence. And then if we go back over here, now we realize we can't have healing for the walls on these. But what we can do is just put a ceiling electric field underneath this. This will deal with anything that comes around this area. I mean, we already have these up here, but sadly this one won't zap underneath here. But yeah, if any enemies go underneath, they're going to get hit by this ceiling electric field. You can even go as far as to put a wall there. It might get destroyed by the spawn though. But yeah, this will do enough damage. And then what you can do if you want is put some healing wall spikes on these two walls as well. Now, none of them tried to get through this bit, so that's fine. And we can go ahead with that. So there is another flank to cover around here. So by all these block offs, they can actually come round, and if they come up this ramp here, which we'll just block off. Just do that. You don't need too much, but basically they'd be able to just walk over here to the amplifier. Now there is this over here, if they're able to come across this bit. So this kind of doubles up as the other side block offs. But we can build for it now. So effectively all we're going to do is just block like that. Stop anything from getting in there. We can put a wall there as well. You can put some traps around here, but I can cover that with the traps. Right, now over here, you might want to do the same sort of thing. So it's quite out of the way, but what you can do is block this like so, and then this ramp. Trying to block this at the bottom comes close to the spawns and might end up getting it destroyed, so what we can do instead is just do that, and then if we just continue these walls across, that'll stop enemies from being able to get round. Yeah, you can even go as far as to put walls behind these. We just basically don't want any enemies to be able to go round the trap tunnels we're building, because if they do, they will be able to aim at the amplifier. Now, it's not as much of an issue in Plankerton as it is in the other areas, but, you know, it's not a non-issue, so we need to stop them from being able to do that. Otherwise, we'd need loads of anti-air traps, as opposed to just having a few, so we obviously don't want that. Now, for this bit, what we can do is, if we add thin wall here, because we'll have a wall launcher here. You can do it in this area as well, but it's probably not as necessary. But what we can do is have it here, like this. You probably don't need it on too many of them, because say they get knocked here, down to here, they'll probably end up walking through this bit. So there's not really much need to add them here, because they won't really be walking up, you know, this bit. So we'll just leave it as those. In fact, you probably can get rid of that one, to be honest, if you really want to. Now, what you can do is continue these across and have wall darts on them. The only thing is, these walls are launching the enemies out to here, obviously. And if we have those, they're not going to go as far out. But there is a positive to it. So by stopping the enemies from flying too far out, what we can do is build this like that, and this basically contains the enemies in this area. This will just have wall darts on, which will affect stuff as it walks back up this ramp here. We will have ceiling drop traps above. Over here, you can block this area like so, and then probably there as well. The reason for this is the enemies that spawn, you know, over here, instead of being able to just walk all the way over here and skip most of the traps, they will instead have to walk up this ramp over here and then go through the trap tunnel. This bit's a bit sketch, so you can either just do that, stop them from coming up it, or just allow them to. But this way, they have to come up the longer way up here. And if we put a floor here, they have to come up here. So with this area here, what we can do is use this as a little bit of extra damage, like so. These can be walls. Any further back, and again, you run into sort of spawn area, so the walls might get destroyed. You can go and play ahead and place some though. And, you know, if it gets destroyed, it gets destroyed. But yeah, that's the main part of that. So you probably want a wall there, and to be honest, you could put a wall there if you want, but what we're going to do is put a wall launcher here, which will send them out into there. So that's the reason I'm not going to put a wall there. It wouldn't hurt to put one there though. You can have wall darts shooting through the tunnel, and on this one we'll do a wall launcher as well. So now all that's left to build really is the ceiling for this. We can build round the amplifier as well, so what I'll do is just build like this. We'll pretty much leave this side of it open for now, because we'll be dealing with it when we get to that side. But I'll just place this one so that I can place this on top like that. So we're just going to do the same sort of thing we did at the other amplifier. So do this like that, and then we'll put floor spikes on these, anti-air trap on the top, and yeah, we're generally just allowing the enemies to walk into the amplifier because they will get killed by the trap tunnels anyway. So for the ceiling, it doesn't really matter where you build up for it for here, but we're going to build it 2 blocks up. Which means that the entire ceiling will affect the spawns and the trap tunnels. So as I say, you can, you know, just carry it out from here, or if you want to build a wall like that and then start from there, it's completely up to you how you want to go about it, but just make sure you place the ceilings where I'm placing them. So effectively, the rule of thumb is build it over the entire trap tunnel and then to the side of it as well. What you can do for this bit if you want is add extra reinforcement, but I don't think enemies will try break out here, so there's probably not much need for that. Right, let's carry on this ceiling then. So the ceiling's going to go across this entire courtyard area, so what we'll do is this. And then as we come to the trap tunnels, again, they're going to be walking here, so these will be tar pit trap, and then to the side of it we can do ceiling electric field. So this can be ceiling electric field here, and then you can even build it here, but I would avoid it just because if we build a floor there, it incentivizes enemies more to come up here and walk across straight to the amplifier, so I'm going to avoid connecting that, and we'll just continue this ceiling here like this. This point, it's very far out, and you don't have to do the entire thing. If you are low on structures, if you have very good damage and stuff, which I do, to be honest, but I'm just placing everything just to show how the build would look, for the very top level. So I'm just going to build pretty much everywhere here. But as I said, this is like really over the top, and you don't need to. And we may have to strip back at the end like we did in Twine, but, we'll deal with that when we get to it. So, you can go another one if you want. Here. Another layer of traps. Again, this is very, very overkill. But we are building an AFK Endurance, so why the hell not? I'm just going to connect this here as well. I don't feel comfortable having it connected to one place. I don't know, it really bugs me doing that. I feel like it's going to just destroy itself or something, so I like to connect it in a few places. You could do it anywhere, really. You could have these walls here connect up. But we have it connected in 2 places now, so it should be good. But yeah, that should be all the structures you need. Can't think of any other flanks because we've covered pretty much everything they could possibly do. And we have an entire massive roof over the whole thing. So we can go ahead and level this stuff up. The ceiling is less important. You could build it out of brick probably in this case, if you really want. But I'm going to be leveling up to tier 3 metal because I have a mat grinder that gives me loads of materials. If you don't have that, just feel free to watch the video for that. It'll be in the description. But yeah, I'll get onto the traps and the perks, and then we can go ahead and place them down. Cheers. Thank you so much for watching to this point. If you are enjoying the video, please do let me know in the comments. But also, I am on the Supporter Creator Program, so if you could please use my code CAMIG, and be sure to subscribe as well to get all future videos. Thank you so much. The anti-air trap 1 range on there for durability. Ceiling drop trap, so we're going for a crit build on this one as well. Ceiling electric field, we're going for a crit build once again, you know it. Floor freeze trap, so for this one we've got 2 impact and knockback. Floor launcher, so for whacking all the impact and knockback on there. Tar pit trap, so for this one I like to go for full durability. Wall darts, another crit build, another all-rounder build. The wall dynamo trap, so for this one I've gone for energy. Wall launcher, so for this one we've got 3 impact and knockback. Wall lights, so another 3 impact, 2 reload speed. Wall spikes here, we've gone for crit build, so 2 crit rating, 2 crit damage. Wooden floor spikes, so crit build on this one, that's pretty much. Alright, now that you've got that stuff upgraded, we can place the traps. So on top of the amplifier, we're going to do the same sort of thing as the other one. So anti-air trap on top, and then you can place, a few just there, just in case flingers do manage to escape somehow, somewhere. We have something blocking them, and then we can just put some wooden floor spikes on the edges. In case they did manage to get any enemies here, they would die attacking these, so that would be fine. Now at the amplifier, we're going to have tar pit traps, if I can get my 106 ones, for pretty much this entire bit leading up to it. We'll have a tar pit trap on this last. Actually, we'll stick to wooden floor spikes throughout this entire bit around here. Again, making sure you leave this bit open. I mean, they could come up this bit, I suppose, if you want to make this a floor, but I'm going to leave it open as it is. On most of these ramps where we've covered, to stop enemies from flanking, you can put healing wall spikes. You probably don't need to do on all of them, so maybe just the very first ones, like that one. You definitely don't need to go to the back ones. We have covered, this pretty much this entire flanking route anyway. And then on this side, again, you can put wall spikes on these if you want. Maybe this one, and then on these end too. But other than that, all we need to do really is for these, we can just put some ceiling electric fields underneath. That will zap anything that goes close, and then we have this entire ceiling that we can place traps on as well. You can place traps on these walls if you want. It's probably not too necessary because we have the ceiling traps. So on this side, at least, I'm going to avoid it. I am going to put a ceiling electric field under there, though. And then for up here, I will put the launchers. So 106, I'm going to do the full durability ones on these. And on these as well. On this last one, you could probably go for a non-durability one. But I'm going to leave it as durability for now. Then on this one, I'm going to go for the more rounded build with more impact and more reload speed on those two. While we're here, I guess we can place any traps in this area. Probably won't need these because, as I say, it's Plankerton and it's really not too difficult for the endurance here, but we can go ahead and place them anyway. And you can feel free to strip back if you want, if your perks are super duper and all that good stuff. So as I said, you can place a wall darts at the back there. It will shoot through this ramp, so it acts as a blocker, and you can also damage through it, which is nice. From here we can do wall darts. We've got those going. This one can be a broadsides, so I'll get my 106 broadsides there. This one can be wall darts. And then wall darts at the back of these. As I say, for this courtyard area, you could put wall spikes on these. I'd probably just go for this one, because this is the one with the ramp leading up to the amplifier. The rest are going to get affected by the ceiling traps anyway. One note I did get rid of. I think we had a ceiling here. I just got rid of it so they couldn't hop onto it from there, because that might make them want to leave out there more. On these walls, we'll do wall darts to do more damage as they get to the top of the ramp. Do it on that one as well, and as I say, you can do them on these. Probably would more recommend down here. The reason being is over here is where they spawn, so doing it immediately, they just go. The durability goes so quickly. Whereas on this side, this is just for the enemies that make it to this point and then get pushed down. So these wall darts will last a lot longer, so we can go ahead and do those. I'm going to leave it off those two though, because they're not really going to affect much should we add anything on them. Over here, we can get wall darts going for these. Wall dynamos on these low walls. And then, don't really need anything on there. Probably just like the sound trap for propanes, I would have thought. That should affect pretty much everything that comes through. In fact, you can put it on this side of it as well if you want, or maybe on this one actually. We'll put it here. And that should be good. So everything that comes through propane-wise should drop there. Propanes. All good stuff. Now that's all that's left is the ceiling traps. So I'll start from the other end of the trap tunnel. So the enemies will be walking from here, so I'm going to do is get my drop traps equipped. I'm going to face this way to knock them back down, this ramp, and then we'll just do that pretty much the entire way. Over here we'll do that. On this one, I want to knock them back this way. From here I want to knock them back. On these ones we will do that. And then on this last one I'm going to place it that way as well as that one. Then as we go through this last bit, we're just going to place it facing the direction the husks would be. And then finally there. Now over the spawn, on this bit down here, you're definitely going to need ceiling drop traps. The direction doesn't matter too much down here. But I'm just generally going to place it facing towards the trap tunnels to push them back out effectively. Like so. That one's not going to affect in, so no need to place it on that. What we can do for this one or these two even, is we can place ceiling electric fields, which will zap into enemies stood here as they come past. And then similarly on these sides, we can get ceiling electric fields zapping into enemies as they come through the tunnels. Like that. Even all the way up here. And then these back ones, I think I'll do ceiling electric field. All across these, even in that one. Now over here, it's a bit less important having the ceiling traps. For these ones, I will place, if I can get them, the tire drop traps facing this way, just to stop enemies from wanting to go through. This one here can be an electric field. And then put a drop trap on this one. But yeah, all these ones here, probably want to go for drop traps. The direction you face doesn't entirely matter, to be honest, in this, at this point, because it's generally just going to kill stuff that spawns, so it really doesn't matter too much. I'm just going to face the amplifier as I place them, pretty much, so that they do get staggered away from it as they drop. If you do need structures back, obviously you can get rid of some of these. This is very over the top. So, if you do need to get some back, definitely just strip some of those back. But as far as traps goes, that's it. That's all you need. Well, I say all you need, it was a lot, but that's what you need. And yeah, please do like, comment, subscribe if you found it useful. Obviously, feel free to come back for, wow, that is right. Come back for the north direction, as you will need that as well for this amplifier, obviously. So I will see you in the next video.